Every UN member state recommitted in 2015 to end violence against all women and girls, building on earlier international law and commitments. Yet, the sad reality is hundreds of millions worldwide still suffer gender-based violence. Disasters and crises exacerbate existing gender inequalities and violence against women and girls. Chances are, either you or someone you know is a victim. A staggering 1 in 3 women is affected. In many countries, the Me Too movement has put a spotlight on some horrifying realities too long hidden or deliberately hushed up. Data from UN agencies reveals women are 98% of sexual harassment victims and over half of forced labor victims. 15 million adolescent girls have been raped in their lifetime. Over 200 million have been subjected to female genital mutilation. 650 million women and girls in the world today were married before age 18. More than half of the women intentionally killed are murdered by their partners or family members, totaling a horrifying 137 women every single day. Not only do these frightening statistics represent gross human rights violations, they also represent a terrible cost to society as a whole. UN Women estimates violence against women amounts to $1.5 trillion a year, some 2% of global GDP. You can make real impact as a parliamentarian and respected leader in your community by addressing these critical issues in very practical ways. First, be courageous, speak up, and condemn all forms of violence against women and girls. Second, help pass strong legislation and policies to address prevention and to provide better access to justice for victims, as well as protection and support for survivors, and to effectively prosecute and punish perpetrators. Third, promote ratification of international instruments like the 2019 ILO Convention 190 on violence and harassment in the world of work. If your country hasn't yet ratified, please make sure it does. Fourth, adequate funding for effective implementation is critical. Use your oversight function to ensure essential services like helplines and shelters. Fifth, work to ensure all those involved in implementation are coordinated and properly trained to deal with this devastating problem. Surprisingly, given parliaments are in the vanguard of protecting citizens from violence through both legislative and enforcement mechanisms, recent studies by the Inter-Parliamentary Union reveal sexism, harassment, and violence against women is unfortunately widespread in parliaments themselves in every region of the world. Surveys reveal 1 in 4 female MP respondents had suffered physical violence, and 4 out of 5 psychological violence, such as intimidation, threats, sexist remarks, or humiliating pictures published with sexual connotations. 58% of female respondents in Europe, and 42% globally, report being the target of online sexist attacks on social media. In response, the IPU has published guidelines for the elimination of sexism, harassment, and violence against women in parliaments. So what can you do as a parliamentarian? First, ensure a zero-tolerance policy is in place. Second, raise awareness and provide training for everyone. Third, assess the situation in your parliament, including through confidential surveys. Fourth, ensure remedies are clear and followed, including complaint and investigation mechanisms, and disciplinary sanctions against perpetrators. Fifth, provide confidential access to assistance for victims. Parliamentarians can lead the way by example. courageously addressing systematic sexism, harassment, and violence against women in parliaments and all walks of life.